Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech. Welcome back to another episode of Caffeine and Crypto, where I welcome you to join me with your favorite caffeinated beverage of choice, coffee, energy drink, whatever you got. If you don't like energy or caffeine, then grab some water as we go over this week's past news. Obviously, last week I was gone, and I will be gone this upcoming week. Just a quick update because it is JoJo's birthday. We're going to be down in O-Town. Going to Epic Universe for my second oldest's birthday, so thank you for bearing with me. I'm sorry I'm not as consistent in publishing content, but appreciate all of you stopping by and all my future viewers that watch this show later on in the day. As you can see, Bitcoin's down to 109K. It's green today, but relative over the past couple weeks since I've been gone, it's down, right? We saw Bitcoin fall from 115 to 107, something like that. In some exchanges, and then climb back up. Now we're stuck below 110. Ethereum also crest below $4,000. Now we're 4,026. XRP 278. BNB 983. Solana back over to 200s. Avalanche is actually in the deep greens right now. I'm not sure why Coin360 is doing that, but it's definitely in the deep greens. I think it's up like 15%, something like that. We'll have to see. Not sure. There you go, 5% to $28. My anti-malware stuff is telling me stuff is going on. It's freaking out. I don't know why. So yeah, much of the crypto market, including Doge, saw some outflows from the ETFs and stuff like that. Bitcoin, as you can see on the daily, let's go all the way back to our previous week, and I will say good morning to everybody that's showing up in the live chat right now here in just a second. Just bear with me. I'm going to get the show on the road, and I'll give you all personal updates towards the end of the show. But just bear in mind, sorry I was not available last week. We'll talk about that again towards the end of the show, why I wasn't. And next week, I will not be live streaming. Maybe I will, because the game plan, Epic Universe, is to go mid-afternoon to evening instead of early morning, is the way to go from what my research tells me, but we'll see. Anyway, so since I've been gone, and no, not the song. September 6th was my last show. So let's go from September 7th to today. September 7th to today. So let's see here. You can see on September 7th, we started bringing in some green, right? So right after the show, we were green for much of that week. We started to crest over the weekend, pushing a little bit higher, right, on that previous weekend. Where I wasn't available, right? And the day of, or Friday, September 19th, that's when we did our fall. And to measure from where that high was to the low, that is a 7% drop. And to measure from where we started on that 7th after the show to the high, that was a 7.18% increase. So we dropped more than we increased. We were putting in higher highs previously and higher lows previously, but now there's a lot of bearish signals flashing, and it's got some of the community concerned and stuff like that. Again, I'm personally playing the long run, not financial advice, and nothing I say on this channel is financial advice, but I'm playing the long game, right? Talking about retirement, talking about, you know, when I'm ready to officially retire type long game, not, oh, I want to get rich quick, so I should do this type stuff. If you're looking for those meme coin plays or those get rich quick plays, there's a lot of degens out there, a lot of individuals who share that information. Tom Crown is one of them. I think K-Dub is just a Bitcoin maxi. Wendy O does dabble a little bit in some of the alts, but primarily in some of the top 10 cryptocurrencies. So there are some channels, though, that are just specifically focused on meme coins and like to flaunt what their gains are. I'm not naming any names. I'm just saying that they like to flaunt what their gains are, and then people try to replicate that, but then they ultimately don't, and then get wrecked, and then they feel bad, and then they don't get into crypto, right? During these times, during these trots, people are looking to make money, and when they don't make money, especially newcomers, they get discouraged, and then they never come back again, and that's unfortunate. What the newcomers should be doing, in my personal non-financial advice opinion, is continue to dollar cost average, mine it, or accumulate it over time, and stop trying to get rich quick. You're not going to hit the lotto overnight. And congratulations to whoever hit the 1.8, 1.9 billion lottery, by the way. Hopefully you're doing the right thing and not spending that money stupidly or trying to take over somebody's company. I don't know what you're doing, but good luck. Congratulations. That's a lot of freaking money. I'm sure many of you could use it as well as myself. But here we are. Bitcoin's down. Crypto's down. What are we going to do? Well, my strategy, as I said, is going to continue to dollar cost average and accumulate as much as possible. If we just zoom out, that looks pretty good. Yeah. If you zoom out, that looks really damn good. Yes, and these pullbacks comparatively are not that significant. Now, yes. There's 100% a chance, right? Let's say we start this week still sitting under 110, and we try to push down, right? Now we're going to be hitting another EMA ribbon, almost 2.8% down, right, to 106. Very much possible. Now, if we go even further to some legacy lines, that's 100K Bitcoin. Some people are calling for a 60K Bitcoin. A 60K Bitcoin. Let's see what that move would be from about where we are right now. A 60K Bitcoin would be a 45% dump. Now, not saying that's impossible, because a 40%, 30% back in the day was like average, right? Like that's the normal thing that Bitcoin does. A 40% dump would mean significant outflows from the ETF, significant retail dumping, significant, whoever is the multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar asset managers are flooding out or flooding away from Bitcoin into another asset because they believe it's going to go up or give them positive gains, right? Because they're always moving money around to try to always accumulate more for their people, the people that they manage for. So that is a significant drop. Again, we're going to have support at, 100K, 90, 92K. Like there's numbers in between, like 96, 94, 92, 88. Like I can name all of them, right? Because we've seen that in the past. If we just zoom out, we can see where there's some significant support in the past and some significant resistance. But in the long run, these if it drops, there's going to be, some people coming in off the sidelines, picking up more, so on and so forth. So that drop to 60K is not going to be as easy as some might speculate. Moving on to the news, and quick good morning to everybody real quick. Quick shout out to Crypto Mikkel, Crypto Craig, Tech Man, J Bohannon, Automatic Beats. Thank you for stopping by, guys. Hope you're all doing well. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but Rapid Mining, his glass table broke, and I feel really bad because it looks like his monitor's like got that line across it, like it's damaged really bad. I'm not sure what else got damaged, but I have a wood desk. I love wood desks. I mean, glass desks are beautiful. I just wouldn't trust it. And plus my tower, which is really heavy, is in the bottom compartment where I store everything. So Rapid Mining, if you watch this, I'm really sorry for what happened. If there's anything that I can do, maybe provide you a GPU, maybe a motherboard or a CPU if I have it, let me know. Let me know. Computer case. If there's anything I can provide to help you rebuild that awesome system you had, I will definitely do so. I apologize and sorry to hear that happened to you. Back to the news. Bitcoin falls below 110 as cautious tone sweeps over the market. Cautious tone, right? People calling for Bitcoin to fall even further, to caution optimism, right? I was expecting after the September 17th Fed meeting, FOMC meeting, and the rate cuts that we did have, a 0.25 basis cut, that we should push up. But the other three things that I've been calling for did not hit as well, right? Significant retail inflows and significant ETF inflows. Those were the three things I was saying would be the catalyst for Bitcoin to push higher. But we got the rate cut and the other two didn't follow. We got meh inflow and meh retail. Nothing significant. And again, yeah, I mean, after the 17th, we did start to push up, right? If we look at it here, after the 17th, we pushed up a little bit more, but we already, like, the market already, if we zoom in here, you can see that the market was already pricing that in, right? So, right here, the market was already pricing it in. So, when they did cut the rates, we went up another day or two, and then that's it. And then we started to pull back. and we had some liquidations and so on and so forth. But yeah, Ether also fell to $3,900 before pairing losses, marking its lowest level since August. And Ethereum ETS saw net outflows over the past 24 hours. Right, Solana also taking a hit, about 3%. The persistent downward pressure is rooted in an absence of sufficient buying power to defend prices following the massive wave of liquidations on Monday, says Samir Hassan, who is a senior marketing analyst for XS.com. Another round of long liquidations today further weakened sentiment, while corrections in the broader equity market amplified the cautious tone. More than 1.6 billion in long positions were liquidated earlier this week, spooking investors. According to CoinGlass, over the past 24 hours, 511 million across all crypto assets were liquidated. The actions comes as stocks decline from recent records. So the stock market, the TradFi, and the crypto Fi, both took a hit, right? With investors concerned with frothiness driven by AI enthusiasm over certainty over the Federal Reserve's paths for interest rates. They're very uncertain about the future and how the Fed's going to do things. That's why people are calling for Jerome Powell to step down, to get replaced, yada, yada, yada. I don't think Jerome Powell is the problem. I think the economy is the problem. But to manage the economy, Jerome Powell and his team and the people have a very hard thing to do. It's a delicate dance. And Rudd Puts, a member for 31 months, thank you so much for being patient with me. I did have to, because they won, as being a member of the channel, they won a gift recently. We had to call an audible, and Rudd Puts was a champ, so I really appreciate them, and I appreciate every single one of you that are members of the channel. Moving back to the article, crypto bulls point to another headwind stemming from the Treasury General Account, which essentially serves as the government's checking account as Federal Reserve. The Treasury has been refilling this account in recent weeks by issuing T-bills and bonds, serving a type of liquidity drain for crypto. The diversion of cash into government debt could reduce demand for risk assets like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The route in Bitcoin and Ether extend into crypto-related stocks, right, like Robinhood, or Coinbase, so on and so forth. MicroStrategy, Circle, everything's taking a hit, right? So I wouldn't panic too much. If it was just Bitcoin and Bitcoin alone, or just Bitcoin and Ethereum alone, then yeah, maybe something is off. But no, it's not just Bitcoin and Ethereum alone. It's crypto stocks, the tech bros, crypto as a whole, altcoins, main coins, doesn't matter, right? Blue chip crypto. But yeah, so the title of today's episode, Bitcoin to 60K or 140K. Traders at odds over where Bitcoin price would go next. We're going to throw up a poll right now if you guys are watching on YouTube. And I want to know Bitcoin to 60K or 140K. I want you guys to all go vote here on the YouTube channel. Don't forget, we live stream every Saturday around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I have been absent, and the poll is up on the YouTube channel. Please go vote when you guys get a chance. Swing on over if you're on X or Twitch or wherever it might be. But in my absence, I'm still just trying to live life, accumulate Bitcoin, accumulate assets, crypto, whatever it might be. My machines are off during peak demand. They're on during the evening, so that way I'm not paying as much in electricity, trying to accumulate as much as possible, but also save on electricity, because electricity bills continue to climb up as demand for more and more energy continues to climb throughout the world, not just the US, but throughout the world, right? For AI data power centers, data centers, power for data centers, power for AI, power for crypto mining, areas and stuff like that, and throughout the East, ethos and wherever you are, right? So Bitcoin dropped 12.75% from the 124,000 all-time high. One sees a routine and bull market correction when others warn that the new bear cycle has begun. But which side has the better argument? According to multiple analysis, Bitcoin could repeat the price trajectory that foreshadowed the 2021 market top. Crypto analysts, and that's what we talked about 2 weeks ago, was that the market top? I said no, and I still believe that. But as we're going to read here, like crypto analyst reflection points out that in 2021, BTC staged a sharp rally to record highs, followed by a blow-off top and correction into mid-range support, and finally failed to retest the resistance. The sequence of moves triggered a 50% plus, right? And what did we measure earlier? To get to 60K, it's 43%, something like that. So they're talking about a 50% plus crash, sending Bitcoin from nearly 69K to around 32K. So now they're talking about us falling down to around 60K, maybe 62K. Bitcoin's 2025 structure is now echoing the same four-step process, with Bitcoin hovering below a similar distribution level that marked the bearish reversal in 2021. The cryptocurrency risk are similar rejection, or it's risking a similar rejection if the fractal holds. And they're talking about this chart right here, right? So we're at stage 4 on this chart. Compared to 2021, you can see that sharp drop. Now, I do want to say, look at the months, right? I'm going to call your attention. Please don't click off, and I'm sorry if an ad plays, but I really want you to pay attention. Retro Mike, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing good. I really want you to pay attention. I know a lot of you crypto miners are not into trading. You don't care for trading. That's why you don't watch this show. But I just want you to pay attention to this. Look at the months on this picture, okay? I want you to pay attention to that. There's a reason why I want you to pay attention to that. So they're talking about a 60+% drop, or a significant 50% drop. But the months that it started was in May, a little bit after May, right? Mid-May, something like that. Continued on all the way to July. Guys, what normally happens, and this is where you need to just pay attention to the charts. And even if you're a crypto miner, you should be paying attention to the charts. You should be trying to auto trade or trade a little bit in some of your mining earnings into additional assets, or trying to gain more exposure, or whatever it might be. You want to accumulate as much as possible. You don't want to allow the 1% to gain and control Bitcoin. You want to make sure you have a significant portion of it as well. Get to at least 1 Bitcoin, or if not higher. Anyways, we are in September going into October. If we switch to the monthly, as we talked about in the past, right, first of all, if we switch to the monthly, this looks very sexy. So while everybody's panicking, I don't see any reason to panic, right? If you look at this, we've been on an upward trend since 2023, guys, September 2023. But now look at that. September was a small green candle. This month, it's a small green candle, but we had a long wick here. October, green. November, green. December, green. January, green. But then we start to stumble in January. And then we start to stumble in possibly February. Now, yeah, we didn't do it in 2024. Yeah, I understand that, right? Let's go to September 2024. It's a green candle. Not a big green candle, but a green candle, right? October 2024. November, December, we started to stumble. January, we pushed up a little bit higher. And then February, March, right? Tax season, right? As people get ready for tax season. So is this the time that instead of October, November, December being green for Bitcoin or much of the cryptocurrency ethos, is this a time where it's going to flip, where it's going to do the opposite of that? When in the past, we've seen traditionally October, November, December be green. That, I mean, it's possible. Anything is possible. All right, we didn't do it back here, right? In 2022, we had a green October. It was very small, but then November was red, December was red, and it didn't start pushing up. We didn't start this new bear run until January 2023. But let's go even further back. Well, what about 2022? December was red, November was red, but look at October, green, and look how big that green. So historically, October has been a green month, is the synopsis or the summary of what the point I'm trying to make here. That doesn't mean we'll have sustained green candles on the monthly throughout the rest of 2025, but that the chance of that 150K, 140K, a new all-time high Bitcoin is still possible by the end of 2025. I was expecting it in 2026, like a January or something. And then we start having to pull back. Taxes, tax loss harvesting, people shuffling things around. That's just my theory. And again, not financial advice. I'm just looking at the chart, looking at the data, and making an estimation here. But yeah, October 2021 was pretty nice. All right, what about over here? October 2020 was also green. So let's see how October plays. What's fucking with us, excuse my language, YouTube, please don't demonetize me. What's fucking with us and I mean no disrespect to which side of the aisle you're on, political, what does not matter. I don't give a shit. Is the uncertainty of an administration and the uncertainty of world events. What I mean by that, the Israel shit still going down. Gaza, Palestine, Russia, Ukraine, other countries looking at trying to take over another country's resources or to fuck them over or to do this. Black swan events are caused by those things. If we can limit those, if the world can just get along and the Fed continue to drop rates and the inflows to the ETFs and by retail continue to rise, then we'll be fine. But if we have something like this, and I can see why the bearish society is pointing to this chart. It does look very similar. But the months are different. The circumstances are different. Compared to 2021, Bitcoin is completely different. So take it with a grain of salt. Yes, Bitcoin could still fall. Dollar cost average. Protect yourself as much as you possibly can. Don't go spending your car note. Don't go taking the money you have for the mortgage and spending it on Bitcoin. Just be smart, pay your bills, take care of your family, take care of your priorities, and accumulate what you can. If you can mine it without having to pay exorbitant prices to your electrical company, then mine it. If you can't mine it, accumulate it as much as possible, as quickly as possible. Because eventually it's going to become harder and harder to get Bitcoin, or at least the dollar that you're going to spend, or the EU pound that you're going to spend, or the yen that you're going to spend to buy said Bitcoin is going to be less. Like the amount of Bitcoin you're going to get is going to be less per yen, per pound, per dollar. So if you can accumulate more now and then have like a set ratio, and some of the apps do it, Coinbase, Cash App, whatever. You could do auto reoccurring investments, yada, yada, yada. I prefer you to, whatever you do, is to make sure that you can take that Bitcoin out. Like Cash App allows you to withdraw your Bitcoin. I'm sure there's KYC and there's all kinds of stuff. But my mom and I can take our Bitcoin that we bought through Cash App, saving on fees because it's sometimes cheaper than Coinbase, and then put it into whatever wallet we want. And of course, when we do that, we got to then report it. Cash App gives you a little 1099. You got to file it, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But if you do it through Robinhood, you can't withdraw that Bitcoin. If you do it through some of these other apps, you can't withdraw that Bitcoin. I want you to accumulate whichever is convenient for you, whatever on-ramp you want, to try to accumulate more and make sure that you can take that Bitcoin and put it into a wallet that you own the private keys to. Cash App allows you to send, receive Bitcoin, yes, and stuff like that. But if you leave it on Cash App and Cash App goes belly up or they get hacked or they get compromised, then that Bitcoin is ultimate loss. So just make sure you do that. Moving on back to this article, the point that I'm trying to make is, yes, there's a chance that Bitcoin can fall to 60. Yes, there's a chance that Bitcoin can go to 140K. Nobody can tell you what the future holds. We don't need a black swan event because that will crash us further. We need everybody to get along. We need the markets to calm down. And we need clear, I can't say this enough, clear strategy from the administrations of our countries. Right? There's a lot of flip-flopping and bullshitting going on and chest dumping. We don't need that. We need clear, like this is the roadmap. Kind of like whatever crypto you get into, right? You want to look at the roadmap. You want to look at CoinMarketCap. You want to see how it's doing, right? When we have clear guidance, clear instructions, clear, this is where we're headed. This is what we're trying to do. And none of this flip-flopping crap, whether it's the tariffs or this rule or that regulation or that thing or this thing, doesn't matter. If there's clear roadmap, clear instruction, clear, here's my mission, then it sets, the tone so that way, okay, I know what to expect. I'm going to pay more for my products, but I know that I know what to expect, so then I can go ahead and plan for it and stuff like that. Moving on to this chart, Bitcoin has broken below a rising wedge, a bearish formation of higher highs and lows within the narrowing trends. Talking about this chart right here. Again, we were talking about how Bitcoin previously was making higher highs and higher lows, but now has, obviously fallen out of that wedge. The breakdown raises the risk of a decline to 60 to 60K, 62K, which overlaps a 200K, 200-week exponential moving average, or EMA. Some analysts even predict that Bitcoin would drop towards 50K. Notably, a similar wedge collapsed in 2021, triggered by a 55% correction down to the same 200-week EMA. Bitcoin may recover to over 124K. Trader Jesse highlights a cluster formed by BTC's 200-day simple and exponential moving average serving as support during the bull market dips, saying that crypto may form a midterm bottom here. As of Friday, the EMA price floor was around 104 to 106K area, which I think we did fall to. Where did we fall to? We fell to 108, so not really. But you can see previously we fell and got held at 108, and we fell to just touching on the top of 108K. So there's a lot of support there. So we'll see how things pan out. Analyst Pitbull says that Bitcoin is still far from a true cycle top, pointing at the U.S. business cycle. A broad gauge of economic momentum hasn't peaked yet, which usually happens before markets roll over. So I can see why that could apply, because so much of the suit, so much of the TradeFi people and institutions and investors are in Bitcoin now because of the ETFs. So Bitcoin is becoming a stock. It's gaining more maturity. So you can see why it feels that way. While Bitcoin, to me, is supposed to be higher than what it is right now, I can see why it's in its current state, and that's because a lot of the suits are in the game. And again, while I don't like the fact that they're in the game 100%, I know that in order for Bitcoin to grow to a mainstream worldwide asset, it needs to. So it's kind of a catch-22, but still not what Satoshi wanted. Just to be clear, I'm not saying Satoshi would have been happy with this. No, this is not what Satoshi Nakamoto wanted whatsoever. Even though much of the crypto ecosystem is praising, like, this is what Satoshi wanted. No. It's not what Satoshi Nakamoto wanted. Let's just be clear. At least you can call me out, whatever, X, I'm not going to read it, YouTube comments, whatever. This is not what he wanted. But this is where we are, and this is where the world is going. And Bitcoin will eventually be a asset worldwide that countries, banks, institutions rely upon. But we're just not there yet. So there's arguments. In summary, there's arguments for both a bullish trajectory and a bearish trajectory. So the poll's up. I'm going to stop it here in a little bit. It's 11:30. Let's keep on rocking and rolling because a lot of articles to talk about. Bitcoin price forms bearish evening star pattern, right? So another, right? There was a wedge. Now there's the bearish evening star on the weekly chart, but can the price go below 100K? Right? Again, we got a lot of support of 108, 106, 102, and even at 100K. So can we go below 100K? Yeah, certainly possible. If you measure it right now from where we are to 100K, we're going to be hitting this legacy line, this orange line that you see. That's an 8.62% drop. Certainly possible, but we'll just have to see. A black swan event will definitely dump us below 100K, right? A new crisis, a new whatever. Which, speaking of which, if any of my viewers are in South Carolina, please pay attention to the tropical storm forming off the Atlantic, because that thing might stall over you guys wherever you are. I know North Carolina just got hit not too long ago with a flood, a hurricane that kind of stalled and flooded everything. I don't think it's going to go that far inland and up to you guys, but South Carolina, North Georgia, a little bit of North Carolina, especially my boy Brandon Coin, which I think is further away from where this hurricane or tropical storm could go to. Just be aware. I'm not a weather channel, but I like weather. I love space. So I just wanted to say that out loud. Make sure you guys are safe wherever you are. Anyways, so we just got multiple bearish items flashing, signals flashing. That's pretty much it. 4 reasons Bitcoin is failing to copy all-time highs of gold and stocks. It's not gold. It's not stocks. Yes, it's being traded like a stock because the tech bros are in it. Bitcoin is completely different. So everybody's trying to compare everything like apples to apples, oranges to oranges. But no, they're trying to compare apples to fucking pineapples, dude. Like, it's completely different. It's a whole different animal, in my personal opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong. Give me evidence and back up your thesis. But Bitcoins and altcoins are lagging gold and stocks when it comes to new all-time highs. People want it to go higher, faster, and quicker. but it's not going to do that. Bitcoin has become stuck recently as liquidity games keep bulls away from challenging all-time highs. At the same time, both gold and U.S. stock markets continue to post repeated all-time highs, leading to concerns that crypto has failed to become a mainstream asset class. I mean, it's working on it, but it's not there yet. It's still relatively new. Guys, Bitcoin didn't come out to like what? We're barely 20 years old. How long has gold been around? How long has the traditional stock market been around? Like, it's still early. And sure enough, here's a quote here. In the early phases of rate cuts, institutional capital tends to move first into high liquidity assets like equities and gold, as blah, 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 referring to interest rate cuts from the Federal Reserve. Crypto, especially altcoin, sits at the end of the liquidity pipeline, benefiting only when risk appetite broadens, right? A lot of people don't want to take on the risk. They want steady growth, so they move into more stable. Eventually, Bitcoin's going to become that stable asset that everybody's going to flock to. But I believe while it's volatile now, that in the long run, it will become that, right? These swings, these 30% swings ups and 40% downs are going to be lessened as it gains more and more maturity, right? The pattern mirrors 2024, a front-run rally after the Fed rate cut, followed by the correction of liquidity failed to fully rotate into crypto. Only after traditional assets cooled did BTC and ETH outperform, right? Other assets, when they start to cool down, chill out, which, by the way, let's go over here real quick. What other stocks do I have? Let's look at Tesla real quick. Yeah, look at Tesla, right? So we're looking at the daily, right? When this starts to cool, right? Or like say we have a situation coming up that looks something like this right here, you're going to see things shift into Bitcoin, things shift into other assets. Let's look at gold real quick. I mean, look at that, guys. Just look at that. So when you see that start to cool, like over here, you're going to see some of those, the flows of money to shift on over into others. Caspa not doing too good. Solana down significantly. ADA down. Ravencoin, can't really look at that chart. Bitcoin, Bonk, Sue, Doge, look, they're all the same. They're all the same. Look at at least the most recent dip. Look at this part right here. Right? It's all the same. Things are flowing into the tech stocks or into any other stocks that are like gold or that's drawing interest, but everything else pull back, the whole market pull back, and eventually it's going to be Bitcoin climbing up and altcoins climbing with it, right? ETH does not matter. Litecoin, this down draw affected the entire ecosystem, so it'll be okay. Novogratz, dovish Trump Fed could send Bitcoin to 200K, but at America's expense. Let's see what Novogratz says. Speaking in an interview with Kyle Chase, Mike Novogratz said that the ultra-dovish Federal Reserve chair appointed by DJT could lead to massive Bitcoin gains through aggressive rate cuts. The Galaxy CEO noted that while Bitcoin could reach 200K under such conditions, he wouldn't want it to happen because he wouldn't want it to happen because he kind of loves America. Novogratz warned that the excessive dovishness could threaten Fed independence and create a oh shit moment where both gold and Bitcoin skyrocket due to concerns about the currency's debasement, the US dollar's debasement, right? Novogratz said that the potential scenario of Trump appointing an extremely dovish Fed chair represents Bitcoin's most significant bullish catalyst. He described a situation where the Fed's cutting when they shouldn't be, and you put in a massive dove, leading to what he called a blow-off top. The Galaxy CEO also noted that the markets have partially priced in expectations of Trump choosing a dovish candidate, but uncertainty remains about how extreme the appointment might be. Trump has reportedly narrowed down his Fed chair shortlist to 3 candidates: White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett, Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller, and former Fed Governor Kevin Warsh. Novogratz expressed a conflicting feelings about the scenario that could drive Bitcoin to new highs. Even though he acknowledged that the massive bullish potential for cryptocurrency markets, he called the underlying economic conditions really shitty for America. The economic conditions are not just really shitty for America, but for the whole world. When we get that stability back, when we get that consistency and we get that clear mission, then we'll be fine. But right now, there's a lot of jostling, a lot of posturing, a lot of moving back and forth, a lot of uncertainty throughout the world, whether it's economic or, political or humanitarian. Bitcoin edges higher. ETH rebounds above 4K as sentiment slips into fear territory. Matter of fact, let's go to CoinMarketCap real quick as we get ready for Red Panda Mining to go live in 20 minutes. Hang tight. Just sit back and relax. Enjoy the show. I will send you on over to Red Panda Mining after this show. But you can see that the Fear and Greed Index is now down to 34. We've been seeing consistently, at least previously, in like the 56, 60, 70 range. And now we have fallen to the lowest it's been in a while, 32 just the other day. So unfortunate. And of course that wiped out well, we're still in alt season on the 90-day, not on the 30-day, and definitely not on the 7-day. So I mean, it's sort of alt season, but it's not a full-on alt season. I think this isn't showing really accurate. But again, like, look, a lot of these coins you probably never heard of are up tens of thousands of percent, or 3,000% or 2,000%. Some of the other ones you have heard of are up 50, 60, 40%. You can't go up forever, guys. You can't go up forever. Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. But yeah, Bitcoin Friday is seeing a modest bounce to 110. We're at 109. Doge and Solana outperforming. PCE inflation for August rose 2.7% year over year, aligning with forecasts. Crypto sentiment remains fragile, with the Fear and Greed Index dropping to the lowest level since mid-April. Uncertainty, doubt, concern, all that has an impact on the cryptocurrency ecosystem. It will be fine. We'll bounce back. No need to panic. Crypto's $300 billion wipeout marks harshest sell-off in months. I think this article was written on the 26th, I want to say. You can see the chart here, but yeah, we just had a huge liquidation during this sell-off, right? So Thursday the 25th, we had a nice one on Monday the 22nd as well, just pushing Bitcoin and other assets down. I'm not too concerned. I'm not too concerned whatsoever. Let's go ahead and end the poll real quick and then check the live chat, see what's going on. All right. So the poll, Bitcoin to 60K or 140K. 55% says not sure. 36% says yes. 9% says no. So nobody can tell you the future. Nope. I could say Bitcoin's going to 200K, but when? What, 2026? When in 2026? May? October? Like when? And then if somebody gives you a specific date and time, like, date or insider trading are full of shit. So just protect yourself by diversifying yourself and accumulating what you can while taking care and handling your business. Look at the trending tickers over here on my right hand side in Yahoo Finance. EA's up. And don't forget, October 10th, Battlefield 6. I'm expected to play that game. I expect to do my show, but I'll probably do my show while I'm playing Battlefield 6. I don't know. We'll see. S&P 500, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, those are the trending stocks, and they're in the deep green, so the crypto's suffering. Dow 30, Russell 200, VIX is down. Gold is up 37%. I don't know if that's on the monthly time frame. Or no, that's up on the daily. Jeez Louise. Is that accurate? Stocks aren't open right now. Somebody's getting ready for next week. Something's going on next week. Next week is not October yet, but technically it's the 29th, 30th. Let's see how October pans out, guys. Let's just see how October pans out. We'll go from there. This is interesting. Google buys in as this Bitcoin miner lands a 3 million HPC deal. What is Google buying in? Google buying in. What is Google buying in? We know they got AI data clusters. All right, so Google plans to backstop 1.4 billion of FluidStack's lease obligations to support project related debt finance. In exchange, Google will receive warrants to acquire 24 million shares of CIFR common stock, which equates to about 5.4 pro forma equity ownership stake. Google's agreed to a similar deal to backstop TeraWulf, co-location agreements with FluidStack back in August. Cypher plans to retain 100% ownership of the project and will access capital markets. We are thrilled to be working with FluidStack and develop HPC data centers, and we will look forward to welcoming Google as an investor into Cypher. The transformative transaction reinforces our HPC momentum as we continue to attract attention for our large growing pipeline of sites. So Cypher mining. You can see that's the stock. It's only $11 right now. I wonder if that's something, not financial advice. I'm just saying, like, I wonder if that's something I should go look into and try to grab a couple of shares of when I get the money. I don't have the money right now. I'm broke as shit. But like when I have the money, or if I could come up with it, you know, grabbing 10 shares of that, it's not a lot. $100, so to speak, 100 and some change, you know, will the deal and their aspirations to grow build up, because we saw some of these mining firms or locations close down, unfortunately. Yeah, Bitcoin miner and data center operator Sapphire Mining announced a 10-year high-performance computing co-location agreement with FluidStack. Google will support the build out in exchange for a stake in Cypher. I wonder where that location is at. Any of my mining experts out there, project managers? Oh, here we go. It's in Barber's Lake site. Barber's Lake site. Barber Lake. Where's Barber Lake? In Wisconsin? Huh. I wonder what the power is up there. Interesting. Armed kidnappers. Now, this is just another one to just remind you guys. Armed kidnappers steal $8 million in crypto after holding family at gunpoint. This is in Minnesota, right? I need you guys to just be careful, okay? Just please be careful. Please don't share. I'm going to go ahead and play this video for us. Please do not share what you do, what you make, how much money you own, and all that stuff on public settings. You know, just, you got to be careful, guys. So let's go ahead and play this real quick and see if this is the news article about this Minnesota kidnapping.
Digital ID.
Oh, hang on. It's playing through my speakers. Hang on.
Cards for workers in an effort to cut down on illegal immigration. British Prime Minister.
Holy crap, look at the size of this pipe that the skateboarder set the record on.
The tallest drop into a temporary quarter pipe and fastest speed on a temporary quarter pipe. So, what do you think? Would you do it? Does it make you queasy?
That's crazy as shit. So yeah, I don't know where the article is. So it's just basically two Texas brothers are facing federal charges for kidnapping, allegedly holding a Minnesota family at gunpoint for 9 hours and stealing $8 million in crypto. This is not just a crime, it's a blow to the sense of safety of everyone in Minnesota. I bet you it was his idea on the left. He was just the gunman. So they held him in zip ties, 9 hours. Try to get the crypto. I don't know why they thought that they would get away with it. Just be careful on what you share and what you put out there. it's cool to share, as a crypto content creator. I could see why, people want to have some transparency and see, what you're doing, especially if you're invested in a project that you've been promoting and like how those assets are performing and stuff like that. But just be careful, please. Vanguard mulls over crypto ETF access for brokerage clients and potential about turn report. So they were considering it. All these ETFs were coming out. Things were getting hyped. They were like, no, we're not going to do so. Then they thought they were going to. And now I think they're about facing on it. Vanguard is reporting exploring offerings and brokerage clients access to crypto ETFs after repeatedly saying it would not do so. So now Vanguard has a lot of offerings. I think there's like a Vanguard 2025 and Vanguard this and Vanguard that. So we'll see how that holds up. But it would be nice that some of our 401ks or Roth IRAs or whatever, that we have more control and that we can invest in Bitcoin ETFs if we choose to do so as the end user, as the person that, is getting their 401k managed by whatever company they're working for. But like right now, I can't just be like, hey guys, I want, IBIT ETF, or I want this, or I want ARK Invest 21 or whatever, ARK 21. So hopefully, as some of these investment firms allow the end user to have a little bit more control or say in what their investments are, we'll see how things go. But the potential shift comes as regulators under the Trump administration have gone beyond easing pressure on crypto to actively embracing it, with the SEC recently approving new generic listing standards to fast-track crypto ETF approvals. Vanguard is looking to end Bitcoin ETF ban. Bloomberg senior ETF analyst Eric said on X, "We've heard chatter on this too. Smart of them, in my opinion. Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs are hugely popular, and Selim was one of IBIT's midwives, so he knows." For all the crypto bros crashing out because Bitcoin had a bad week after going up 350% since ETF approval, this will brighten your day. Vanguard has 50 million investors. Obviously, many are not the Bitcoin type, but that's massive. They're the biggest fund company in the US by 2 times over. So this is just more funds flowing in to Bitcoin overall. And then lastly, as we get ready to wrap up here in 10 minutes and lead you on over to Red Panda Mining, what really drives altcoins? A closer look. I'm not going to go through this whole article. I'm going to post it in the live chat for you guys, but there's just a few key points here that they're going to call out. Obviously, liquidity is one, market sentiment. Yeah, so liquidity is number 4, right? The liquidity or appetite of the environment, the investors, the retail, whatever it might be. The psychology, right, or market sentiment. The price cycle, right, the different price cycles. And then the altcoin index, which is just one metric. But we also want to see improvements in, in crypto as a whole, right? Key metrics to watch: how to spot altcoin season index. A score above 75 confirms all season. Recent readings since September 2025 hovering around 78, indicating early momentum. It was. Now it's not. Bitcoin dominance below 50 to 60%. We talked about this before. Trading volume spikes in altcoins. Market cap growth, the altcoin market cap of 1.63 trillion. When I was gone that week that I was not doing caffeine and crypto, we hit over 4 trillion on market cap. In the upper left here, let me go ahead and get out of your way. If you look in the upper left here, we hit over 4 trillion. You can see the spike, but then we fell back down below it. If we can get above that 4 trillion and stay above that 4 trillion, that would be really nice. But yeah, so 4.17 trillion was the highest so far on August 13th. And then we were above that the weekend I was unavailable, about 4.1 trillion. And that's the whole market. That's Bitcoin and altcoins. What they're talking about in this article is for altcoins only, right? 1.63 trillion is the number. Diversification. Diversify your portfolio. I wouldn't say like just go and buy all Bitcoin. A lot of people will advocate for that. And you can see right now, Bitcoin is flatlining. If you look over here on the right-hand side of the screen on CoinMarketCap, it's flatlining. When Bitcoin starts to trend up, you're going to see maybe some of the altcoins either stall, go down, or go up with it. And I know that's a broad analysis, but that's usually what happens. Either Bitcoin's going to rise and bring all the altcoins with it, or Bitcoin's going to rise and the altcoins are going to stay where they are while Bitcoin moves up to its next leg up. And then once Bitcoin starts to stall and chop sideways, that's when the altcoins rise. Or Bitcoin, like it has done recently, at least in this last run up, rose all the high tide rose all ships. So altcoins and Bitcoin all rose up. But as far as diversification, while not financial advice, I'm just going to spout out some assets that you may consider just accumulating in your portfolio. Bitcoin, Ethereum. I know a lot of my miners do not care for Ethereum, do not respect Ethereum anymore. But Ethereum, again, could be a $7,000, $10,000, $12,000, $14,000 asset in the future if we're talking 2042, 2045, right? XRP, I don't like it. I have a small bag of it, but a lot of the people that are protective or like the bank, like XRP. BNB, it's almost $1,000. A lot of people were looking down on BNB. It is the second biggest chain compared to Ethereum. And what did I tell you a long time ago? What I've been focusing on are chain tokens, right? Arbitrum for Arbitrum, Solana for Solana, Ethereum for Ethereum, Avalanche for Avalanche, Su for Su. So all of these networks have their main asset that asset is obviously going to be used. So there's going to be ups and downs because that asset needs to be used to participate in DeFi, in dApps, and to trade, right? Because that's the main pair to whatever these other coins that are built on that network. But, right, or they support, cross-chain like Solana on Su network or vice versa. So those network tokens might be something you want to consider, but what are those networks you should choose? I'm not going to give you a bunch of them. I'm just saying, like, look for some of your favorite chains that have strong growth and strong potential. Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain are the two biggest chains out there. Tron is, I think, probably either the second or third biggest. Like, depending on what metric you're looking at, it could be right below Ethereum, above BNB, or right below BNB. But I mean, besides casinos and stuff like that, I haven't really participated in it too much. And it's got a significant market cap, guys. It's got 31 billion market cap, almost 32. Cardano, right? I don't know too much about Hyperliquid, but I know a lot of people like Hype for some reason. But Cardano, Chainlink, Avalanche, Su, Litecoin. I did take profits on Shiba Inu about a few weeks ago just to help out with bills. And it was at a short-term high. I did tell my friends that we bought Shiba together with, but I mean that's a play where like you're hoping to get rich quick and it's not going to happen. I think the hype for Shiba Inu has died off and it moves on to the next meme coin. Meme coins are hype. Everybody jumps on the train. It starts to stumble. It starts to decay. It starts to flatline. And then they move, they sell their position, they go to the next meme coin. And that's just the cycle that the degens go through. So it's very hard. And to find those meme coin plays in real time is really, really hard. So yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Solana, XRP if you like banks, Doge, Cardano, Tron, Chainlink, Avalanche, Su, Litecoin. Like those would be the top few that I would say, if you could diversify yourself in, then great. Polygon's been pissing me off. Arbitrum, small bag of that. Caspa did take profits a while ago, but still holding a small bag. Algorand still believe in, but not. It's just shooting me in the foot some more. Bonk, again, another meme coin that's lost some of its hype. But when the market starts to pop off, you're going to see some of these meme coins really take off as people flood back into it, trying to capitalize on gains and market sentiment and stuff like that. A lot of new coins around, but I still primarily focus on some of the OGs, some of the tokens that's been around for years or since the dawn of crypto. Maybe not at the same age as Bitcoin, but sometime around that. Those are my picks, not financial advice, but those are some of the assets that I will continue to accumulate over time. so on and so forth. Either way, we got Red Panda Mining coming on live here in about 4 to 3 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and check live chat and talk with some of the live members. I thank you for anybody that watches this in the future, for hanging out with us, for spending time. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all the support you guys provide the channel. Eventually, I will get back to my regularly scheduled content. I don't know if it'll be every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as I've been doing for years since 2017, 2016, but if I can, I will. I'm waiting on to see if Future Bit will help me get an Orange Pi for LTS 4 Gigabyte to fix the Apollo 2 that got hurt due to lightning strike. Jazz Miner's still running strong. Bitcoin Miners S19K Pro still running strong. GPUs still running strong. Just and my bit axes and all my solar miners are still running strong. Just, you know, hey, somebody hit a Bitcoin block not too long ago with only 10 terahash. That's easily doable with a few bit axes or a Canon Nano 3S. You know, you may not hit a Bitcoin block ever in your life, but there's a chance. A very, very slim, insignificant chance, but a chance nonetheless. So participate. Help secure the network. Participate in the ecosystem, whatever mining platform or blockchain it is. Participate, have fun, join the community. We love to have you. And again, thank you for all my supporters, patience, and viewers. Make sure if I do post content, even if you don't have time to watch it, you swing by, stop, hit the like button, and comment. All right, so Pellish been trying to get my attention. Canon oversold. Canon stock. Canon stock. Year to date, yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely oversold. December was the time to take profits, man. I should have done that. I didn't. I might just accumulate some more and see how things go. But we'll see. Granite shares yield boost Bitcoin ETF. Interesting. I will follow and add that to my list. All right, I shared the article. Everybody's talking to each other. Putz, Fudweiser. Oh, Fudweiser. Hi, man. Good to see you. I gave up on BC2 solo, just fitting BCT2 on profit switching. Okay. Think you guys are talking to each other. Red Panda Mining is not live yet, but I'm getting ready to get out of here. Pops is doing good. He's doing better. He went to the track, as you guys saw, with me and my friend. Had a good time. Hung out with the community. Yeah, I wasn't fast because I'm in a freaking four-door sedan. You know, but I had a great time. I learned. I got some more seat time. I plan on doing it again in the future. I look forward to it. It's very expensive to get insurance. Just insurance for the car during the track is $300, not to mention the event and costs and stuff like that. And if you need to brakes and tires and all that stuff, that can add up. So track racing is an expensive hobby. I don't have the funds to do that, but I just, like, the tires were good. The only thing I did was brakes, flush all the fluids, and new oil. And I just took the car to the track. It already was lowered and stuff like that. So I'm just going to try to get more seat time if it's financially feasible and enjoy life, guys. That's all I'm doing right now. I've been playing a little bit of WoW when I had some time in between family stuff. Unfortunately, my uncle has been diagnosed with colon cancer. You know, my dad's got blood cancer. Cancer just needs to shut the fuck up and chill, but I am not the only one. Many of you have been impacted or have a family member dealing with cancer, and I pray for them and wish you the best. It sucks. It's a lot of draining emotionally, trying to be stable and continue to push forward. It's been hard, but you just got to take it one day at a time. But I'm trying to live my life because I'm seeing so many of my friends have passed away as I get older, you know, almost 40 years old now. So, you know, just trying to live, enjoy the computer that I built and I have. Look forward to playing some Battlefield 6 if you guys want to join me on there. Maybe we'll do a live stream together and jump on Battlefield 6, get a 4-man squad going and go pwn. October 10th is the release date for that. Playing WoW just to spend time with some of my friends that I haven't played with in a while, and I don't know. We'll see how things go. But I am waiting to hear back from Canon about the Mini 3, because remember the Mini 3 is down due to the lightning strike. I think the power supply is fried, and I asked them for a power supply, but I think they want it back. Like, I don't know. The Apollo 2, waiting for the Orange Pi LTS, 4 LTS with 4 gigabytes. So because it mines, but then it crashes after 48 hours or something like that, and the node still syncs, stuff like that, and I'm connected over Wi-Fi, but it's just really it's just not working. And I'm glad I connected it over Wi-Fi, because anything that was connected via Ethernet got fried. If it has Wi-Fi, I've been connecting over Wi-Fi, which is not as stable, especially if your Wi-Fi goes in and out. You know, you can have rejected shares a lot more. You can have instability. You can have the monitor go offline and you not know it, stuff like that. So it's just a constant dancing game. But did everything TechMan and many of you have requested or recommended regarding, you know, lightning protection and stuff like that. I still need to get some more work done, but that's it. Bitcoin 2, I have not stacked that yet, TechMan. Let me know. Give me you're a person. You talking about this guy right here? I have not. SHA-256 on Mining Dutch, the largest one, 98% of the hash rate. That's ridiculous. But yeah, a lot of miners are on it right now. There's a spike there of 1.29 exahash, but then it dropped back down to 585. But definitely a large percent on just one pool, unfortunately. Z Pool has it. Zerg Pool, by the way, if you don't know, guys, is going out of business. They're closing down, which is unfortunate. So if you're on Zerg Pool, try to hit your payout threshold tomorrow, because if not, like, those funds are stuck. Jump in their Discord if you need help, if anything. But yeah, Zerg Pool is going down, which is unfortunate, because I love Pin. Hopefully Z Pool can stay alive. Z Pool is one of my favorites. Zerg Pool is one of my favorites. Mining Dutch is one of my favorites. But I noticed a lot of people have moved to Mining Dutch away from Zerg Pool and Z Pool, thus ending that pool's life. But no, I haven't. How much BC2 are you making per terahash? So that way I can calculate if it's worth putting over there. TechMan, just DM me on X or on Discord. But I got to get out of here. I don't know why Red Panda Mining is not live yet. I got to get going. So much love to you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Sending everyone over. Have a great weekend. Oh, much love. All right. You guys get out of here. Grab yourself a good day. Do me a favor on the way out, though. Hit that like button. Make sure to get subscribed. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out additional links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. And you take care of yourself. I'll catch you next one. TechMan, send me BC2, not Bitcoin 2. Send me the link, TechMan, on Discord or X. Get out of here.